Hi, everybody. It's Eamon here with the Pat Monk podcast. And today we have a very special guest. We have Hafez, who's joining us from Atomix. So welcome to the call. How are you doing today?
Good, Eamon. Thank you so much for having me.
Great to have you on the call. So here lots of great things are happening. But for those that maybe are not familiar with the company, can you maybe give a moment or two to let our listeners know what it is that you do and how you help other people and businesses?
My name is Hafez. I am currently the marketing lead over here at Atomix Logistics. We are a third-party logistics company. So essentially, we help D2C, B2B brands with their fulfillment operations and simplify their operations with attentive customer experience and powerful custom-built software. We have our own WMS.
And with that, what do you find, when you're dealing with different clients? What are the main industries that you're focused on?
So right now we actually have a lot of different types of brands. Actually, we have food brands, we have clothing brands. We're starting to onboard a couple of pet brands as well. So with our company, we really don't have we just take on any brands, but whether they're pre-start, pre-launch, regardless of the industry.
Okay, that's good. And I mean, with this, like when you're gaining new customers and you're going out there and you're getting the word out about what it is you do, I mean, how important is, what different channels are working for you, whether it's LinkedIn, email, outbound, cold calling, and what's working for you at the moment, or how important is your website in gaining new clients?
Essentially we run a lot of Google ads as well. We target the Midwestern area because we're based in the Midwest, Milwaukee and Wisconsin. And so we're targeting a lot of Google ads within the area, and also adding on, we have a lot of LinkedIn. We do a lot of LinkedIn reach out as well. Our sales team, they're reaching out to a lot of people, connections on LinkedIn for founders or CEOs of brands. And also we do a lot of Reddit sources. I think it's a really good, I feel that Reddit is a really good underrated source to find potential clients as well, because a lot of people will come, and they'll ask, hey, I'm looking for a third-party fulfillment partner. I don't know where to start. Is there anyone who can help me out? And it's a really good forum, for people to just come on, just have a conversation, honestly, just yeah.
Definitely. And we're speaking a little bit about, exciting things that are happening within the company. I believe that you have a new ebook coming out, and that's going to be able to really pick things in a different direction and help a lot of people as well.
Yeah, totally. I think for us, because we are a startup, essentially we started up 2 years ago. Our founder and CEO, he was originally working in finance over in New York, and due to the pandemic, he came home, and his family's been essentially working in the, I would say, logistics industry for quite a while already. Actually, his dad owned a last mile carrier, and then he was just brought into it. He was born into the industry, came back from New York, started out Atomix 2 years ago. I was brought on board last year, and it's a great time to be working here, honestly. And so as I was saying about a startup, it's I would say it's a great space for us to help a lot of up and coming brands as well. Essentially, our first ebook is about to be it's a resource guide for small businesses. And I think it's very realistic to us as well, as as a small business, a startup, is that we're able to help DTC or B2B or any other brands, upcoming brands, pre-launch, at any scale or level to help them. But targeting, I think it's very important for the first part to focus on upcoming brands, is because I think it's very intimidating coming into an e-commerce space, and a lot of times there's a lot of information out there which is very dense, and it's very hard to pick and choose what's the best information to use to help scale your brand. And that's where I come in, and I want to build this ebook for small businesses as as a reference for them to come to us, if they find this. And even if they don't sign on with this, I think just come in and just have a conversation with them how to help them scale. Like if they come to us for a brand starting out, and just come on and ask, hey, I'm starting this brand. I don't really have a lot of information on it, but is it possible? Could you help me out? And when they come and talk to us, we're like, hey, here's our first of all, we'll ask them about their information, what industry are you working in, how many SKUs do you have, just small questions like that. And then we'll pass them on an ebook, for them to, it's basically the Bible for them for their own resource. Then it contains a lot of information that helps them scale, when it comes to operations or like warehousing, just like the most basic fundamental, when you come into an e-commerce operation space. Yeah.
Mhm. Well, yeah, I mean, it makes perfect sense for, let's say, a startup with that relevant, information rather than a company that was a startup 20 years ago, because so much has changed, and the startup environment even now is different to where it was before COVID. So, having that up-to-date information. So yeah, definitely that sounds good and will be a great resource. So changing gears a little bit and maybe talking about you a little bit more about as a leader within marketing. I mean, what keeps you busy on a day-to-day basis in your role?
Oh, Eamon, that's a very good question. I a lot of things, but I'm just gonna tell you what I'm working on right now. I do a lot of content marketing at the moment, so I'm responsible for our company's social media channels. I'm updating the websites, a lot of content every day. But right now I'm working on client testimonials. I'm doing a lot of video editing, but essentially the gist of my workload right now is just a lot of content marketing. So I'm doing a lot of graphic design, video editing. I'm brainstorming ideas, blog content, especially. And essentially for us, blog is a very critical content for us when it comes to the e-commerce space or third-party logistics space. Because yeah, I think blogging is really good information, as I said as well, along with the ebook. Blogs are just a little more compact and condensed. It's just, hey, this is a certain topic we're talking about. We're talking about, carriers, for example, and it's we're talking about different types of carrier rates and pricing. And I think it's a good little just gist of how a brand can approach carriers and like, hey, we'll see which carrier rate fits our business. But yeah, essentially a lot of content marketing.
Okay, perfect. So sounds busy.
Very busy.
Lots of stuff going on, lots of stuff. So, like with this note that we're coming at towards the end of our call, what I'd like to do is jump in and maybe ask you some rapid fire questions. So, some very just short answers are all that are required here. So, are you ready?
Yeah, fire away.
Okay. So, what was the last book you read?
Oh, Storyteller by Dave Grohl. I'm a huge fan of Foo Fighters, so must read for any Foo Fighters fan.
Yeah, there we go. Must check it out. Check it out. Definitely. A phenomenal career, but let's not jump into that. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So with this as well, if you were to go back and you were able to go back to your very first day, Atomic, what would you do differently? What advice would you give yourself? On your first
Yeah,
day?
sorry.
No, that was it. Like, what would you do differently, or what advice would you give to yourself?
Yeah, I would say don't be afraid to make mistakes. Growing up really young, I strived to make everything I did perfection. Yeah, 100% perfection. And right now I would just tell them, and right now at this point in my career, just don't be afraid to make mistakes. The most important part is just start. And if you make mistakes along the way, that's totally fine. And when you make mistakes, you learn, and that's the ultimate thing, like never stop learning. And yeah, just I would tell myself, just don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Perfect. The only like 100%. I'm definitely a believer in that. Always be learning, and if the only mistake is not to try. Uh,
Exactly.
and then you don't learn anything. So, like with this, look, thank you so much for being on the call with us today. I want to give you the last word. I mean, imagine someone, let's say they're on the call and they forget everything, or maybe someone's just joining the podcast right now. Well, I mean, what is the one thing that you'd like them to remember about Tom?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that question again? It kind
Yeah,
of like fizzed
no
out for a
problem.
second. Sorry.
Like, let's say someone's just joining the call. What's the one thing that you'd like them to remember about the company? What's the one thing, if they missed everything else on the call?
Um, do you need something shipped? I mean, it's straightforward, you know. I'm like, hey, we're a shipping company. If you need something shipped, we will be more than happy to jump on a call with you.
Best reply I've had today, definitely, definitely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Hafez. It's been a pleasure. I'm sure that people will enjoy listening and watching this. So that is it for today's podcast. I look forward to seeing everybody on the next episode of the Pat Monk Presents. So all the best and bye-bye.
Bye bye.